This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Germain, and we start in St. John's, where people are going to be on the march tonight. This is the day for the annual Take Back the Night Walk. Here Now's Carolyn Stokes is at Bannerman Park in downtown St. John's, where this walk is set to start in about an hour. Carolyn.
Thanks, Anthony. Yes, it's about an hour to go before the Take Back the Night March begins, but we already have a few people here showing up, some organizers and some volunteers putting together some very colorful signs that will be carried during the march that will be starting at 7 o'clock. And joining me now to talk more about this event is Nicole Kiley. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Oh, thanks for being here and for our setup. We're really excited to have you.
Can you tell us how this will all unfold tonight?
Well, we're going to have a lot of things happen tonight. This is our 35th Take Back the Night March, which is a huge milestone. And we're going to have everything from individuals from all sorts of communities show up to attend the march. We're going to have Renee Sharp from Wendow to get us ready, start it and moving. We have some amazing keynote speakers. We have Lynn Moore, who's going to be speaking at the courthouse steps. We have community activist Laura Winters, who's going to be speaking about her work with the St. John Status Women Council. We have Bebmore Davis, a self-identified survivor, as well as works with Smile for Smiles, has been involved with this work for so many years. And performers, we are just excited to be doing a whole bunch of work to really look at violence in this community, and specifically around sexual violence. And our theme this year is more fittingly rooted in resilience. And I can't think of a better amount of individuals, organizers, and people to come together to talk about that.
Now, this march has really changed over the decades. For a while, it was a women-only march, but that's changed. It changed last year. Can you talk a bit about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, this march was rooted in the feminist community and women's community, where there was a lot of sexual violence happening. It still remains very gendered. Women are disproportionately impacted by sexual violence. However, there was very little being done about it. So the feminist community and women's community really, within the 70s, did a lot of conscious raising. And this is where the roots of Take Back the Night came from. And of course, as we as a community and as any sort of social issue evolves, so is our understanding around sexual violence and inclusion. So it really has evolved to recognize that everyone can be impacted by this issue, that marginalized individuals can absolutely be also survivors and identify as someone who's directly impacted. So over the years, we went from working with the LGBTQ plus 2S community to ensure inclusion, and now we're looking at it with a lens of all individuals, right, and making space for those that were directly impacted and a supportive and safe space for that.
How big is the issue of sexual assault, sexual violence in this province right now? Is there any way of really knowing?
Statistics are really difficult to look at because of the rates of underreporting. When you look at you look at across the board statistically, usually it would say about 10% of what gets reported is actually what's happening. So it's really the tip of the iceberg. What we do know is our center received 795 calls this year. That underreporting is a really important thing. So it's prevalent, and it's not just an urban issue, a big town issue, a crime issue. It's happening in our rural areas, within Labrador, within our Indigenous populations disproportionately, especially women. And so it is a big issue. I think what we need to start looking at is, rather than particular numbers, but just the fact that it is prevalent. If we start with that as the starting point, then we really get to working on initiatives and organizations and projects that really talk about the root causes of violence.
Okay, Nicole Kiley, thank you so much. And I guess one of the big reasons why there is so much underreporting is fear, women afraid to come forward. Part of that, it has to do with the criminal justice system and having to go through the court system. And coming up a little bit later on Here and Now, I'm going to be speaking with a lawyer who knows an awful lot about that. Reporting live from Bannerman Park in St. John's, I'm Carolyn Stokes for Here and Now.
Whoa, some drivers hit the unexpected this morning in one of the busiest spots in St. John's. Look at that. We'll tell you why the road buckled shortly.
you can see from outside with Carolyn that it's a beautiful evening, and that was a beautiful afternoon as well for most of the areas across the province. 24 degrees was the hot spot in Badger, 22. Corner Brook reached a high near 19 degrees in St. John's. Those temperatures quite warm up through Labrador as well. And then we did see some increasing cloud through the day, and we're starting to see those showers. This is from the remnants of Hurricane Humberto. That's moving a little bit further north. We're going to see some effects from that. Not much, but certainly seas will be quite high. I'll have all those details, your full forecast for the weekend coming up.
Police are going to be searching the St. Vincent's area tomorrow for a man who was last seen more than a year and a half ago. Raymond Halloran has been missing since early 2018. He's described as 5 feet 9 inches tall, about 175 pounds, with gray eyes and brown hair, though his hair might have been dyed purple. He was last seen wearing a camo jacket and carrying a black duffel bag. The RCMP say about 50 people will be involved in tomorrow's search. They also say the decision to search again was not based on any tip or any kind of new information. Searchers plan to go back to the last places that Halloran was seen, at his home and his work. Anyone with useful information is asked to contact the RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Busted underground pipes are causing a big traffic problem in a busy area of St. John's. Now, for this driver, up in the air like that, it's what happened before the pavement broke open. That's quite scary, as you saw. There it goes again. It appears the van drove over this section of Allendale Road just as that water main break underneath it was starting to intensify. And as you can see, the driver quickly regains control right there. Pretty scary, though. The water break happened in the east end of the city this morning. Police are asking drivers to steer clear of Allendale Road between Prince Philip Drive and Higgins Line. Nearby Confederation Building was without water, so it closed for the day. The Ridge Road campus of the College of North Atlantic, that also closed, and Metro buses are taking a detour away from that area. Late today, the city said it's hoping that the road will be reopened sometime tonight.
We're looking at having to water back onto the affected buildings later this evening. We'll then get to work on getting the road repaired. We're hoping to have at least one lane open tomorrow. And we're still working on figuring out how quick we can get a contractor in here to repave the road.
Well, young people around the globe, including some in our province, took to the streets today demanding global leaders take immediate action on climate change. Organizers estimate that more than 300,000 people rallied in Australia alone, while in Berlin, thousands gathered at the Brandenburg Gate, and thousands more protested outside the British Parliament in London. In Canada, there were also rallies in Halifax and in the Toronto suburb of Burlington, Ontario. Now, the protests, these have all been inspired by 16-year-old climate activist Greta Thunberg. She's in New York for a rally right in front of the UN headquarters. And some students in Labrador joined the movement. Our Jacob Barker will have more on that coming up in about 20 minutes on Here and Now. Well, Justin Trudeau's brownface and blackface controversy has drawn lots of comment. You might be tired of it, but late-night TV hosts, they're not. It's provided loads of material.
I'm not going to show you the picture because it's really bad. It's so bad that Canadians traveling in Europe are going to start telling people they're American.
There are so many problems with this photo. First of all, it's obviously never okay to do blackface. And secondly, if you are going to darken your skin, at least get the color right, okay? Yeah, Trudeau isn't dressed as Aladdin. He's dressed as Aladdin doing blackface. That's not the color of Aladdin. What are you doing?
This is pretty bad. And I just want to say, it's not us this time. Suck it, Canada.
Well, Green Party leader Elizabeth May responded to questions about one of her candidates today, none other than Greg Malone, local performer and Green Party candidate for St. John's West. Came under fire last year when Memorial University's Black Students Association blasted a 10-year-old Christmas special featuring a white actor who was in blackface. Now, Malone himself was not in blackface, but he did appear in that special. And today, Elizabeth May said the difference between her candidate in Newfoundland and Trudeau, it wasn't a secret.
Greg Malone is a dear friend of mine over decades. He's one of the most brilliant comedic voices. As an early founder of Codco, Greg's work is historic, and some of what appeared at CBC at the time is something that CBC would not broadcast today. And Greg feels that way very strongly. So I'm very proud to have Greg Malone running in Avalon. I sure hope he gets elected. He's deeply thoughtful, deeply committed to social justice. And I'm proud to have him running. But he identified for us right away that he was concerned about it, and he regretted that they'd done that even back in the day on Codco.
1 week after MHA Perry Trimper announced his resignation from cabinet following the release of a damning voicemail recording, the Innu Nation isn't easing up. The group is still pushing the province to identify the other speaker on that call. Now, in the recording, Trimper and an unidentified woman appear to be discussing the Innu Nation, and the woman can be heard saying they have a feeling of entitlement, while Trimper says the race card comes up all the time. Today, the Innu Nation released a tweet again pushing the government of Newfoundland and Labrador to investigate the woman's identity. The Innu Nation says it will continue to press for accountability, and it's also examining national best practices for anti-racism initiatives within governments and institutions, and it plans to share those bits of advice with the government. Well, we know young people are spending a lot more time on smartphones or in front of some other kind of screen, but one school on the west coast of the island is trying to change that. It's trying to get young people to read more, and as Here and Now's Troy Turner reports, they have found 13,000 ways to do that.
Alex Ballard figures he's read 2,000 books in his lifetime. That's not bad for a 10-year-old grade 5 student.
Star Wars books, superhero books, and because I play sports, I like Star Wars because it's like the weapons and stuff, and I like the joke book, the superhero books because of the fighting.
But there are many other students who don't have that kind of access to books that Ballard has. That's where the charity First Book Canada comes in. It has donated thousands of books to the school, all shipped from the U.S. in hopes of sparking kids' interest in reading. They fill the tables in the gym at Stephenville Elementary. Ballard's mom, Monique, says having these books here is a vital first step in making books accessible to more young people.
If there's no books available for them to read, then they're never going to develop that skill of being able to read. Having something like this, having all of these books available in our gym for our students and for our kids to enjoy and to read in the school and to take home is truly an amazing experience.
Monique Alexander teaches at Stephenville Elementary. She noticed there was not one book in her classroom, but now she is stocked up. Many parents wonder if their kids are spending too much time staring at a screen. She says it's all about balance.
Opportunities to hold a print book in their hand is just as important, because if we don't emphasize those skills and if we don't put the importance on those printed books, then the fad of picking up a book for any child is slowly going to fade over generations to the point where they won't use it at all anymore.
And it's not just the children of Stephenville who will be receiving books. Community organizations in the area, as well as schools throughout the region, will be dropping by into this gymnasium, picking up books such as these, so it's all to benefit the reading of all the kids in Western Newfoundland. Troy Turner, CBC News, Stephenville.
Well, it isn't every day that a new chocolate factory opens up in this province, but chocolate lovers have another option now on Torbay Road in St. John's. The Newfoundland Chocolate Company says the plant, complete with a retail store out front, gives them the room to grow and to expand to new markets. Cease Hare reports.
Fit for the discerning chocoholic. The aromas, the array of colors are like something from Willy Wonka, complete with a chocolate waterfalls. The Newfoundland Chocolate Company's new store and plant spans 10,000 square feet. It's a longtime goal of Brent Smith and his wife, who started making chocolates in their basements.
It started with modest beginnings. We thought, let's make a bit of chocolate, sell it at the craft fairs, and try to get the kids to Disney World. And now here we are 11 years later with 10 shops in Atlantic Canada, over 100 employees.
Now there are shops in St. John's, at the Avalon Mall, Duckworth Street, Signal Hill, and at the airport. This new addition, a one-level production facility, uses some of the latest in chocolate-making technology.
This is the secret of how you get the caramel in the center of the chocolate. So but you got to shake it to get the bubbles out, because the bubbles are going to be on the surface of the chocolate, and you don't want that because that would be ugly. We want beautiful, shiny chocolate, so it turns it over, knocks out the excess, because you got to get room in the middle for that delicious gianduja center.
And while the machinery does its job, the human touch is never far away. Smith says by hand is still a big part of what they do.
In our heart and soul, we're artisans. Piping's by hand, the decoration is always by hand. We've used the machinery to try to take out some of those repetitive tasks, like when you're pouring chocolate into a shell 1,000 times a day, that's a little hard on the body.
Smith says the bigger plant, with its increased capacity, makes it possible for them to expand into new markets in Ontario and Alberta, something they could not consider from their Duckworth Street location. Cease Sayre, CBC News, St. John's.
What would be an attractive waterfall if it was anywhere else but here?
One of the most destructive storms to date. A look back nearly a decade after at the damage of Hurricane Igor. That's ahead right after Ashley's weather. Well, a lot of people into sports would love to see a day just like today heading into the weekend, especially people in the crowd in Conception Bay South.
In Conception Bay South, we have over 1,200 registered members in the Soccer Association. We're growing every year, growing in programs, and it's always nice to be able to showcase our talent along with the talent from other places right here in our hometown. This weekend we have the Under-13 Boys Atlantic Club Championships. In 3 weeks we'll be hosting the Senior National Championships along with St. John's and other communities as well. So it's always good to be able to bring the top quality soccer to our community so that our younger players can see the level of soccer, can see where they can go if they stick with the game. And we have some wonderful players here in Conception Bay South that have moved through the ranks of representing their province. And our girls under 15 team is actually traveling to Edmonton during a national competition week in October, representing the province as a Conception Bay South Strikers team.
And what a spot to play with Conception Bay is your backdrop. Yep. And that tournament goes on all weekend long. Players from Moncton, Fredericton, Halifax, 6 teams in total. And the local teams to beat Mount Pearl, as well as obviously CBS. So good luck.
Yes.
Some skill there as well.
Absolutely. They look good.
Yeah. So it was really nice out today.
It was
here anyhow. I don't know about
yeah, it really was. Okay. Yeah, as far as temperatures go, it was beautiful pretty much across the province. But you know, we're nearing the end of summer.
Right. So how
did we compare?
Are you looking back, saying how warm was it? How are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was curious about that today. Let's take a look at the numbers.
Okay.
I've showed you this graphic a couple of times this summer.
So the number of times we got above 20 degrees.
Look at that number. 34 times, that's it.
So we're down.
We are down, way down. The 2011 we saw 47, and that was the lowest in the 10-year period.
I gotta check your abacus.
Trust me, I did that a couple of times. I wasn't really sure, but it really did depend on where you were in the metro area, because outside our studio in CBC, 43 days actually reached above 20, 44 in Mount Pearl. The other thing that I was paying attention to, and a lot of people were saying this to me, was that it was a lot less windy, or at least it felt a lot less windy than previous years. So I had Rodney Barney look into this. He's from Environment Canada, and he said that the average between July and August was 18.4 kilometers per hour. That is the lowest in 10 years for the island, or at least for St. John. So it did feel a little better. Say that. But some other areas across the province, 55 days, 66 in Deer Lake, Corner Brook, 62. Now there was a couple of days that were missing some data, but overall, depending on where you were, summer definitely felt different for you across the province. So today we did add those numbers, whereas of yesterday we did add to some of those numbers for Gander, Corner Brook, Deer Lake as well, another 20-degree day, Happy Valley, Goose Bay as well. St. John's at the airport only hit 19, but again, outside CBC, 21 degrees. This afternoon. So here's what we're sitting at right now, just dropped a couple of degrees. Happy Valley Goose Bay sitting at 17. Now we did see some cloud cover move in this afternoon from the south, and we're starting to see some of that rain as well. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see why, and that's hurricane, or at least the remnants of Hurricane Humberto. And that's going to continue to track a little bit further north as we head through the night tonight. Certainly with this, we're going to see down through the southern half of the Avalon, some seas between 3 to 5 meters. But other than that, we're just looking at some showers moving through, mainly just cloud cover for eastern Newfoundland, the Avalons, where we'll see most of that rain. And even then, still not too much, anywhere from 5 to 10 millimeters. We're going to see that rain move a little bit further south towards the west coast through the overnight, and then towards central by the early morning hours of tomorrow. So temperatures tonight sitting around 10 degrees for St. John's. Those winds generally light, about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. Corner Brook 9 degrees, St. Anthony at 6, but again, have that potential for showers essentially everywhere. Up through Labrador, you're going to see your skies clear for the most part. Cartwright still looking at the chance of a few showers, then that will clear overnight. And Lab City going down to 5 degrees. Now tomorrow, once those showers move through, we should actually see some clearing skies for the most part for most of the island. The Avalon will see some showers, and then that'll clear into the afternoon as we see that system move through, and then some cloudy periods up through Labrador. But overall, those temperatures are going to significantly drop from what we saw today. So barely reaching the double digits, 12 degrees for St. John's. Also, essentially from Bonavista North all the way through to the northern tip of the northern Avalon, around St. John's, any exposed area will likely see some stronger winds late day as the remnants continue to track a little bit further east. So upwards of 70, maybe even 80 km/h gusts. Grand Falls winds are about 11 degrees. Again, have that chance of showers in for everybody, but you will see some clearing skies. The warmest temperatures will be along the west coast. 11 degrees for St. Anthony, 10 for Cartwright, so quite a different story tomorrow across the board. And then Lab City sitting at 13 degrees. Now, things will recover as we head into Sunday, so that's certainly the good news. We're even going to tack on probably a couple more 20-degree days. I'll have all the details coming up.
Well, staying with weather, severe weather. It's hard to believe, but tomorrow is going to mark 9 years since Hurricane Igor. And that was one of the most destructive storms to hit this province. Bridges blown out, roads washed away, and one man lost his life. Here's a look back at what things looked like almost a decade ago.
I'm in the Palmer's Lane area of Shoal Harbour. Now, obviously, the engineer didn't design the sidewalk to have its own waterfall. Look how the water has eaten away the gravel underneath the sidewalk and created what would be an attractive waterfall if it was anywhere else but here.
Igor's fury knew no limits on the Burin Peninsula. By early this morning, the full brunt of the hurricane hit full on. Roads like this one in Beaubois, just outside Marystown, crumbled. Water everywhere, but with nowhere to go. This dam struggles to keep the water back. Bridges no match for the punishing rain. In many cases, people could do little but watch Igor's wrath and wait for it to subside.
25 years I was with the fire department, I've never seen anything like this. No. You know, the severity and how quick it happened, right? You know, you had a couple of days rain, but this happened, like I said, in just a matter of hours, right?
The problem starts above the town by the Trans-Canada Highway and ends at the bottom of the hill in people's basements. Gerard Doucette was so desperate to keep the water out of his house, he didn't have time to chat about it.
I haven't got time, sir. I really don't.
Hurricane Igor walloped this province with winds of up to 140 kilometers an hour and, in some places, almost 250 millimeters of rain. From the air, the full extent of that damage was obvious. Whole stretches of highway washed away, bridges either collapsed or uncrossable. The work has already started, but it will be a massive job. Tens of thousands of people in communities like North Harbour are cut off from the rest of the province. More than 30 towns have declared states of emergency.
Well, the bell hadn't rung here yet at Mealy Mountain Collegiate, but students came pouring out of the doors here before the end of the day, and they're doing it to bring awareness to climate change. I'll bring you some stories from the students themselves coming up on Here and Now.
There's Jacob Barker, as you see, in Happy Valley Goose Bay, where we're going to head to right now. If you were listening earlier in the show or watching, you would have seen that people around the world were taking, young people, trying to make a statement about the environment. They walked out of class today, and that was the case at Mealy Mountain Collegiate, where our Jacob Barker is right now. Jacob.
Yeah, Anthony, actually school lets out here at Mealy Mountain Collegiate at 3:16 in the afternoon. But at 2:45, that door right behind me, it swung open and students came out carrying signs, chanting, and they're joining together. Earlier in the show, we saw those pictures of youth all over the world in places like Australia and Berlin, and right here in Goose Bay, they're joining that as well. Here's a little look at just what happened on this sports field right here. Yeah, what was that like walking out of class before it was over?
It was kind of funny, to be honest, because just like we just all kind of got up and left, and the teachers didn't really do much about it. They knew what was happening, but they were supporting us behind the walls.
And why is it important for you to be out here?
To show that we care about climate change and that we want to see an action happen. And I guess we're the youth, so we're the ones that needs to take a step up.
Get down. Leave our fossil fuels and ground. Get down.
I want to see more people recycle items and like reuse old clothes and do not use straws, like plastic straws.
There's a lot of students doing this all around the world today, a lot of youth. What's it like to be able to march sort of in Goose Bay along with the rest of the world?
It's actually, I feel so proud right now, like striking for like a good cause. Yeah.
Well, it just shows that it's a worldwide thing, and to show that a small community all the way in Labrador is actually taking part in this and caring about it really shows that we're for this and we want to see an action happen.
Well, that's a little look at what happened, and now I have some of the organizers of that event. This is
Sadie Jones.
And?
Tara Ryan.
And so you guys got up and walked out of class early today. How did your teachers react when you did that?
Well, my teacher was just like, they knew about it, so they were just kind of like okay with it, I guess. Like, we just kind of up and walked out and nobody really said anything.
Okay. Well, but what did it feel like, sort of leaving school before it was over?
It was a little nerve-wracking at first, but then I realized, like, this is a good cause, so there's nothing to be worried about.
So why did you choose to do it as a walkout? Why did you want to do it in that manner?
Well, I liked the fact that all the other schools, like, around the world were doing it. I felt like it was pretty bold to, like, make a demonstration. And that was kind of, like, the point, to just, like, say that we're here, we're standing up for something that, is good.
So we're here in Labrador. What are the biggest climate issues that this region of the country is facing?
Well, you can see in the last even 5 years, there's been a lot more snow than we're used to. That's because it's warmer, so there's more snow that accumulates. You can see that the ice is a lot thinner than it used to be. Like, people who are most experienced with traveling on the ice, some people that I've known for years have gone out onto the ice pans and they know what they're doing. They've fallen through, and some of them have lost their lives to this. And you can see that there's a lot of change. Like, even in the summers, they're crap, basically. Like, it rained all summer and it was cold. Like, we're not used to that kind of stuff.
And this is also being done in the lead up to the to a big climate summit in New York at the UN. So on a wider scale, on a worldwide scale, what do you think needs to happen with the climate?
I feel like a lot of action needs to, and a lot of realization needs to happen. It's just we want people to realize that this is a real thing, whether it directly impacts them or not. And yeah, I think everybody kind of needs to realize that.
And being able to join with, I guess, youth around the world to make that point, was that kind of a cool thing, seeing everybody marching in every other country and place?
It was pretty awesome to see that so many people actually care that this is going on, because you wouldn't think that so many people realize it, but it's nice to see that a lot of people do care about the environment, and it's an honor to be able to be a part of that.
Do you think there's enough awareness here in Labrador?
Not nearly as much as there should be, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like people don't really realize when they throw that Tim's cup at the window that they're having an impact on the environment and what's going to happen in the future.
Okay, well, thank you so much for speaking with me today, and you're going to be in your seats for the whole school day on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will be. Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jacob. That's Jacob Barker with some students in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Now, like those students that Jacob was talking to, as well as the ones he told you about, hundreds of thousands around the world did the same. This, as world leaders are expected to arrive in New York for the upcoming United Nations Climate Summit. Well, Stephen D'Souza was in the Big Apple for one of the biggest rallies on the planet.
One of the scenes here at the student climate strike in New York City, in downtown New York, Foley Square. Thousands of students have taken over the square. More than 1 million students in New York City were given the day off to come here as part of this event, one of 1,000 events going on around the country and hundreds going on around the world. And you speak to students here and they have 3 core demands. One of them is to end dependency on fossil fuels and the use of fossil fuels altogether, to protect Indigenous communities and frontline communities that are most affected by climate change, and to punish the polluters. Those are the 3 demands that students here have. They also want to embrace climate-friendly legislation. One of the organizers is actually a student by the name of Calvin Chan, who is from Canada originally, but moved here, decided to take up the cause here. I spoke with him earlier.
So we have to get the message clear. We have to get the message across to these policymakers, to these change makers, that we are the people that will be affected by climate change, and we need action now.
The inspiration for all of this, of course, is Greta Thunberg, the Swedish activist who began protesting last year, and now what started in Sweden as a small protest with one student has rippled around the world with thousands here in New York City. And when you talk to students here, she is clearly the inspiration.
And I think I really support Greta's cause, and I think it's really inspirational how a 16-year-old was able to rise above all of the adults who are who aren't paying attention to the earth, and inspire everyone to pay attention to it.
A lot of adults think that we're here just to skip school, but most of us in our age, we're more mature, and I feel like we could say something for ourselves, and we have opinions that matter too.
The message here is clearly personal. The students here are thinking about their future. One student we spoke with said when he thinks about college, it's not a matter of whether he can get into college, it's a matter of whether the world is even going to exist in the way he knows it, and if college is even an option. And so this is clearly designed to get people's attention, and it has. The UN is holding a number of climate events over the next week, and so that's why these events are just beginning to ramp up in the coming days to get the world's attention, to get adults' attention, but also to get the attention of corporations to make sure something happens. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
Well, the signs are ready and people are gathering for the annual Take Back the Night March in Bannerman Park. I'm live, and coming up on Here Now, I'll speak with lawyer Lynn Moore about the changes needed to the justice system to better support victims of sexual assault. And now I'm live in Bannerman Park where the annual Take Back the Night March is set to begin at about 7 o'clock. Now this is an event to raise awareness about gender inequality and sexual violence. And we heard earlier in the show that only about 10% of sexual assaults are ever reported. And one of the big reasons for that is fear, particularly fear of the court process and the justice system. And joining me now is someone who knows an awful lot about that, lawyer Lynn Moore. So Ms. Moore, you're going to be speaking at the event tonight. What are you going to say to the crowd?
Well, I'm going to be actually making a call for action. I'm going to be asking that people, given that we've got a federal election going on, that people ask their candidates about where they stand on 3 issues. One, I'd like to see legislation that requires witnesses to be treated with respect in the courtroom. So that means no yelling at them, no getting in their face, no taking a baseball bat and slamming it on the table. 2, I'm going to be asking that there be mandatory training for judges, police officers, lawyers on trauma and how the mind reacts to traumatic situations so that decisions can be based on evidence as opposed to based on myths and stereotypes. And 3rd, I'm going to be asking that we reform our core education system from K to 12, that we start teaching our kids about respect, about consent. I was at Holy Heart last year talking to some young women, and they told me that in their sex education there was no mention of the word consent in their sex education or in any of their education, and that's just not right.
Okay, so this march is going to begin here at Bannerman Park, go through downtown, but there's going to be a pause at the courthouse down on Duckworth Street. Can you talk a bit about what's going to be happening at the courthouse there?
Well, I'm going to be invited to speak there, and then we're going to offer chalk to the participants here, and we're going to ask them to make an X somewhere on the courthouse steps if they have been victimized and felt that they did not get justice, or if they know someone who was victimized and felt that they did not get justice. So it's a way of leaving a mark, not a permanent mark, something that'll wash off in the rain, but it's a way of voicing a protest for the lack of justice that there is for survivors of sexual violence.
And a pretty powerful image, I would imagine.
Yes, I don't think there are very many people who've been sexually victimized who feel like they've had justice.
Okay, we don't have a whole lot of time left, but something very interesting happened this week. The police announced a new program, a third-party reporting system, so that victims of sexual assault can go to a third party to report the incident rather than having to come forward themselves. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think that's a really huge step because once you make a decision to go to the police before this system was in place, all the decision-making power was taken out of your hands. The police, the Crown, the defense lawyer, the judges, they all made the decisions. But now you have the opportunity to go and get an account taken, but to press pause and not have the full investigative procedure court process happen until you might be ready for it or until you're advised that there are other people out there who've encountered the same perpetrator. So I think it's a fantastic step.
All right, Lynn Moore, thank you so much for speaking with us. And as you can see behind me, some people starting to gather here tonight. They're expecting a few hundred people actually to show up, and the walk will begin here in Bannerman Park and end at St. John's City Hall. So that's it for me here in Bannerman Park. Back to you, Anthony.
All right, that's Carolyn Stokes. Have a great weekend, Carolyn. And as you can tell, it's...
You too.
We'll see you on Monday. It's quite nice out there. Can't really complain as far as the weather goes, so at least they chose a good night for their march. Another beautiful day in the province, really. Take a look out there now, just outside the CBC here on the Parkway. Question, of course, nice now, but what about the weekend? Ashley has that answer for you next. Welcome back. So Ashley, this is International Parking Day. Do you know much about that fine day?
Absolutely have no idea.
Okay, well, let's take a look. This is the 4th year that different groups have turned parking spaces into public spaces and parks for the day. So the way it worked, parks set up around the city at the Avalon Mall there, the new part, as well as at the Bannerman Brewing Company downtown, and Gonzaga High School also got into the act, all to get people talking about the need for some more urban open spaces. A bit of awareness. And thanks to you, they got a nice day to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Changing it up from parking over parking lots, or paving over parking lots. And
are you going to sing?
Putting some green. Absolutely not. I can't sing. But yes, they did have a great day today. Tomorrow, not so great. We'll just take a look at that forecast. To start off your weekend, we are looking at the chance of showers, but the good news is skies should clear from west to east through the day. I mentioned a little bit earlier the potential for, or we'll likely see the strongest winds from Bonavista North through to probably around St. John's, anywhere from 40 to 70 kilometer per hour gusts through the day. And you'll notice those temperatures a little cooler, warmer, relatively warmer along the west coast in the 13 to 15 degree mark, but plenty of sunshine as a ridge of high pressure moves in. For Labrador, we get into that west-northwest flow, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Temperatures in the teens, so much cooler than what we're seeing today, but back to around seasonal in that case. So here's a look at Saturday night into Sunday. Now, we do have that big ridge of high pressure. Could see some high cloud associated with this, maybe a few cloudy periods into the afternoon on Sunday. But overall, not a bad day into the afternoon. We will start to see some showers move in into the afternoon for Labrador. And then for the island, you'll see that cloud cover move in late day with that potential for some showers along the west coast, and that will continue through the day on Monday. So the beginning of the week doesn't look, looks a little wet for some of us. So here's a look at your temperatures on Sunday, recovering nicely from what we're seeing on Saturday. Much warmer, 17 degrees for Corner Brook, 19 for Grand Falls, Windsor, 15 in St. John's, 22 for Happy Valley, Goose Bay. A little cooler for Nain, only sitting around 8 degrees. We can thank some of that rain for that. And then 18 degrees for Lab City as your afternoon high on Sunday. Now the good news is these temperatures are going to continue to rise as we head into the beginning of next week. So we potentially will add a few more degrees, depending on where you are, to that plus 20 degree range for most of us. So here's a look at the temperatures. By Monday, again, 19 degrees. Tuesday is when we'll see that rain make its way towards St. John's and eastern Newfoundland, or late day Monday into Tuesday, and then staying gray through Wednesday with those temperatures dipping into about 13 degrees, overnight lows back to the single digits. Now for central Newfoundland, plenty of sunshine on Sunday. Monday night, or at least late afternoon, is when we'll start to see some of that rain move in. 22 degrees and then a dip back down to those teen temperatures, with that rain sticking around through Wednesday. For western Newfoundland, essentially the same forecast. You're going to see that rain move in much earlier, though, on Monday. And then for eastern Labrador, 22 degrees by Sunday, Monday dipping just about to 17, and then Tuesday 11 degrees for you with some sunshine. Western Labrador by Monday, looking at your temperatures dipping to 10 degrees, overnight lows back into those single digits. So that's a look at your forecast. I'll have your weather photo coming up.
Hospital gowns, you know, they can be paper thin, hard to tie up, and sometimes they show more than you want. Well, that could be changing. Simon Akonechny reports.
The classic hospital gown, basically a cotton sheet with 2 armholes and 2 pairs of strings. At about $4 a piece, it's a cheap way to dress patients of all shapes and sizes. But it has one major design flaw.
Nobody wants to see your I don't know how to say that politely in English, but
This is the gown that's been used for decades, and as anyone who spent time in a hospital knows, can be hard to tie up at the back. That can lead to some embarrassing situations. But a new designed in Montreal solution hopes to put an end to accidental exposure. Montreal Central Laundry handles linens for 60% of local hospitals. It's developed a new polyester microfiber gown, now in its 5th prototype. The garment isn't flashy, but that's the point.
Instead of having the ties in the back here, you have plastic push button in the front that you can just snap together so that the gown fits snugly. It has multiple adjustments, so it can fit a very small person, but I could also be wearing that same gown. We're getting full coverage of the patient, so they can walk around in corridors, they can get into bed, get out of bed without part of their body showing.
It's the least that we can do to improve their comfort and their dignity.
Maisonneuve-Rosemont will be distributing the gowns to patients starting tomorrow. The CHUM and MUHC patients will also get the new threads. They cost more up front, but last longer. A modest investment that will do a lot for patient modesty. Simon Akineshny, CBC News, Montreal.
Beautiful sunrise this morning. I'll tell you where this is to when we come back after the break.
Time for birthdays and anniversaries. Happy 50th anniversary to Harry and Joan Ackerman of Wareham. And a happy 60th to Gerald and Hazel Newbury from Carmenville. They've been living in Mount Pearl since they got married 60 years ago. Congratulations. Also from Mount Pearl, Sid and Evelyn Butt celebrated 56 years together on Wednesday. And birthday greetings to Alice King of Grand Falls, Windsor. Alice turns 94 on Sunday. And a happy birthday to Gordon White of Catalina, who celebrated his 93rd birthday on Monday.
Birthday greetings to Myrtle Oxford of Springdale, who will celebrate her 91st birthday tomorrow. Happy 54th anniversary to Mary and Jerry Osmond of Port aux Basques a week ago on September 14th. Wishing John and Mary Cox from Clark's Beach a happy 53rd wedding anniversary today. And happy 51st anniversary to Fred and Teresa Collins in Winterland. Happy 54th anniversary to Donna and Melv Randall of Lewisport. They celebrated on the 18th. Happy 57th wedding anniversary to Cliff and Nina Wellen in Gander.
Wishing Tom and Shirley Reed in Shoal Harbour a happy 67th anniversary. And happy birthday Rita Perry in Lewisport, who is celebrating her 94th birthday today. And a happy 90th birthday to Angela Wall in Pooch Cove. She celebrates on Sunday. And a happy 92nd birthday to Ruby Loader in North Harbour, Placentia Bay, now living in Clarenville. Happy 94th birthday to Phyllis Hicks in Bonavista. Her big day is coming on Monday.
Happy birthday to Marjorie Philpott, who celebrated her 93rd birthday yesterday. Happy 90th birthday wishes this Sunday to Gladys Small of Morton's Harbour. Also Sunday, Alan Freeman in Gander celebrates his 98th birthday. And a happy anniversary to Garland and Elma Osmond, who celebrated 51 years of marriage today. Happy 57th anniversary to Bill and Geneva Galliot of Woody Point. Happy 62nd wedding anniversary to Winnie and Bill St. Croix of Goulds.
And a happy 50th wedding anniversary to James and Catherine Spratt in St. John's. Happy 90th birthday yesterday to Susie Peddle of Tilton, Conception Bay. And birthday greetings to Gladys Gibbons in Flowers Cove, who celebrated her 93rd birthday on Sunday, September 15th. And a happy 90th birthday to Bride Peters this coming Monday. And a happy 90th birthday greeting as well to Harold Peddle of Bishop's Cove, who celebrated on Wednesday. And happy 101st birthday to Gertie Drover in Badger, celebrating with her family and friends, and most importantly, her cat, Tippy.
Well, I don't know if you saw the sunrise this morning, Anthony.
Nope.
It was absolutely gorgeous. There it is there. This was actually taken in Grand Bank.
Grand Bank, beautiful
That's
Grand
right.
Bank.
Beautiful spot. But yeah, the sunset, or sunrise rather, was absolutely gorgeous this morning. Thanks to Lauren Hitchcock for sending your photo in. And if you have any weather photos that you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
They do get beautiful sunrises on the Burin Peninsula, so thanks for sharing that. Time for the weekend, isn't it?
It is.
All right, you got special plans?
Just going to enjoy the last weekend of summer.
Oh, that's right. Okay, hope you do as well, and we'll see you on Monday.
Good night.